Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a quick look here at Polkadot, technical analysis, kind of see what's going on. I want to thank you so much to my patrons for requesting that I cover this here. Of course, I'll cover it based on the simple fact that we have an open swing trade position and we just hit profit target number 1 today. If you're new to the channel, I recommend you checking out my trading community, a really awesome group of folks there. I send out signals for every single trade that I take. Now, moving forward, let's go ahead and take a look here at Bitcoin. This is a one-day chart, obviously. We're going to take a look here, more importantly, at the actual support and resistance zones, because it's really nice to know this. And just so you know, too, 56,000 is still reaffirming itself as a strong support level. Yesterday, it closed above that candle, or the one day closed above that, as well as today here, where I would say we're about 25 minutes until this trading cycle is over. However, regardless of that time frame, it's pretty obvious that we're going to close above as well, because the price is closer to about 57,500 instead. So still working itself into this channel, in between 56,000 and 57.5. But cool thing is the price came as low as 53,800 and as low as 54,000 as well earlier today, but it ramped back up. So just goes to show that that support channel is reaffirming itself as a very strong support channel. Therefore, price continues to come closer to 56,000. It's a good entry point to go ahead and average your price down or up, depending on where you're at, obviously. Regardless, that being said, Bitcoin's in very good shape. Okay, let's take a look here at DOT. Now, that probably had a little bit to do with the increase here today from DOT. However, there's also fundamentals increase as well. Do your own research there, but they have like a parachain that's going to be auctioned here soon. And that is essentially creating, I wouldn't say hysteria, but that drove the price up even further. So, this is a case in point where the fundamentals are factoring in. Now, what's great about this here, we can kind of see the price went as high as about $43, $43.25, but it's hovering around $41.50. So we should see the one-day candlestick close around there. We had a resistance at previously about 36.34, but I think the major resistance was 37.32. I would just say 37 and a quarter is a rough estimate there, but that is essentially the major support level here now. So if the price were to retrace, we can expect to bounce off of that, because the most recent high seems to be the most valid support level once it's broken as a resistance, right? Therefore, that's a pretty good sign. We've also got the 50-day simple moving average working its way up to add itself as a support level. RSI is up over 50, under 70, still very, very good. I like to see the RSI just under 70, because that even though it's working potentially as a resistance, it's a consistent resistance, in other words, whereas the price could even jump above and below, and it works out very well. So I like to see the RSI in that place. That basically tells us that we are in a good shape here, where it's more bullish instead of bearish, right? Because you want to have a bullish convergence above 50 and below 70, whereas there's more of a bearish divergence below 50, right? Between 50 and 30. Taking a look here at the MACD, we did see a convergence on the 13th. That was about 10 days ago, but that was essentially just the first signal of many to let us know that the price is increasing here. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart, quick understanding here, it blasted right through the resistance there. No surprise there. As soon as that tweet was sent out, price just jumped right on up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a continuation from DOT here in the near future once it kind of has a chance to not necessarily retrace, but consolidate. We need a consolidation based on the fact that it did increase significantly. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but 21%, that's a pretty decent amount for a 4-hour candlestick, right? So we got to remember that happened probably within 1 or 2 hours, but more importantly, in a 4-hour time frame, we had a 20% jump. That's significant. You compare that with any other industry, it's a very large, right? Crypto kind of normal, but it's still pretty big, all things considered, for DOT. So really good stuff though, regardless of how you look at it there. And if we take a look here, see here, the 1-hour chart, let's quickly identify the TD sequential. Nope, let's take a look at Ishimoku cloud first. And as we can see, we had a break above the cloud on the 13th. That was earlier today at about 2 a.m. So the price broke above. That would have been a perfect time to take an entry. Now, obviously, it's hindsight's 2020, but if you're new to the channel or just Ichimoku Cloud in general, it's a very good underrated tool that not a lot of people use. What it does, it pretty much tells you momentum has shifted. Similar to the MACD convergence on just the 4-hour chart or the 1-day chart, it kind of helps you understand that you're moving in the right direction. When it's above, it's a buy signal. Below, it's a sell signal. It kind of just takes the overall momentum of the past few days and kind of projects out future forward here, essentially, where the price is going to possibly go. And what's great, too, is if the price were to retrace, just say, kind of come back down here, it's more often than not in a bull run likely to bounce off of the cloud and work as a support level. So really, really cool the way that it works. But the bottom line here is the price being above the cloud. That's a fantastic sign. This would have been a great signal to buy. Okay, and so I always recommend to my community members, set an alert, go ahead and, identify what you do is you go ahead and pick, you go ahead and select Ishimoku Cloud, and then you go ahead and do lead 2, and you just go ahead and keep it open-ended there. And once you create that, it'll kind of give you an indication of the next time that it crosses over that plane, and then you can kind of be well informed and kind of understand, should I take entry? Should I wait? Because if the price is in between the cloud, then it's considered to be a no buy or no sell. You just kind of wait for it to kind of break above or below. Breaking below is considered a sell signal as well. Just to keep that in mind. It works inverse as well for bearish signals. All right, so let's take a look quickly here at TD sequential, and we'll go ahead and kind of summarize. We're looking at it basically reset here. We're likely going to reset based on the simple fact that we got this red candle here. But simply put, when you count from a 1 to a 9, you oftentimes find a a retracement, right? So keep this in mind. In this 3-hour time frame, even though it was 4 hours, yes, from start to finish, we saw the most activity in these 3 hours here. So that's a pretty strong leg up. We need to see the price go sideways for at least another 12 hours, I would say, before we see any type of further increase. So that way we don't have a significant retracement later. Okay, because any good bull run will have a staircase pattern. If you're new to my channel, you'll hear me say this quite a lot. It's supposed to come up and over and up again, right? If it goes just straight up, it's going to come straight down almost always about 50% of the way. Okay, so if we don't want this to come down here, right, we want it to go sideways for some time and then up, right? So just pay attention to that. If it's healthily going sideways, then we can expect another leg up. If it pushes up too fast and too quick, we can expect it to come back down. That's just kind of the natural law of trading. And what we do here really quick as well is identify any future resistance levels just to kind of see what we're up against here. Now, major resistance we've got right here at about $48. So 48 is the next major resistance, I would say. There could be a couple of other smaller ones within here. We could even say 43.50 is another one. See that tested a few times. And just kind of use that moving forward and kind of see where it would go. As we can see, 43.50 was essentially a rejection spot here today. So that could be the new resistance where it will likely work itself into a channel between 37.30 and 43.50. Okay, so my prediction here for DOT, I know that's why you're here. That's what I like to always provide to you based on DOT's history, as well as the fact that it has really good fundamentals. It's a, I think it's a top 10 currency coin right now for market capitalization. It has a propensity to definitely break its all-time high. In fact, my target for my community, I think, is $50 for the for our take profit number 2, and I think it's somewhere in the range of 70 for take profit 3. So I'm very confident we'll probably be able to see all 3 targets before year end. So I'd say $70 minimum for year end here, but I would say ultimately by year end we'd probably be looking at about $80. I think it's probably likely to be able to 2x where it's at, from where it's at right now. But again, a lot of things need to happen between now and then. I would say more immediately though, it's pretty safe to presume that we're going to exceed these all-time highs. And then once we start creating new highs, that's when the cool stuff's going to happen. We're going to start getting, we'll take a look at Fibonacci retracement, kind of get an idea of where to forecast that a little bit more effectively. But for right now, really all we need to do is work within these resistance zones. Again, resistance currently is 43.50. Secondary resistance is upwards here of about $48. So hopefully you found this beneficial. If you do, like and subscribe. If you're not part of my Patreon community, feel free to check that out as well. I have an instructional video explaining that, but again, I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and I average about 85%. So really, really cool opportunity there. And if you just need somebody on your side, somebody that's been in the industry for 15 years or longer, I'm your guy and happy to get to know you better. So feel free to reference that. Reach out to me directly if you have any questions. Be happy to field that as well. And I do want to thank you so much for joining me here today. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.